Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the late, great Patek Philippe 5970. This is the 5970R in rose gold. On my 16cm circumference wrist, you can see this handsome Perpetual Calendar Chronograph cuts a striking stance without being a big bully. It has strong case and lug lines without actually being oversized. Outsized personality, traditionally sized complication. I wouldn't call it a traditionally sized men's dress watch because it's still 40 millimeters in diameter, which is substantial. It's not thick, however, 13.2 millimeters thick. You'll note 46.4 millimeters lug to lug and a spacing between the lugs, surprisingly prescient for 2004 when this watch bowed. 21 millimeters gives it a meaty and contemporary footing on the wrist. Back in 2004, we saw the first of these, replacing the much-loved 3970s. They didn't live long, as the 5970 was replaced in 2011 by the 5270. Somewhere between about 2,500 and 3,000 of these were made in 4 metals, all 3 golds and platinum. This might be the warmest of the 4 variants. You will note on my 16cm circumference wrist, this is a timepiece that could easily fit underneath any cuff, thanks to the slope of the case flank and the concave bezel profile. The strap, which, as I mentioned, is 21 millimeters at its root, is a dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather, monotone stitch, folded edge, semi-gloss finish. You can see it's slim, there is no bolstering, and there's calfskin on the underside. New Patek Philippe factory strap, naturally. A full rose gold clasp with filigree style Calatrava Cross on the top to provide absolute security while donning or removing. It also provides a little bit of a counterweight if you like to wear your watch loose. Having that heavy clasp prevents the watch from moving around. If you like to wear it loose, it's not going to capsize like a sailboat on your wrist. Let's give ourselves a bit more light here and appreciate the details of the case, because this is where the watch derives most of its character. You will note many curves, creases, bevels, angles, junction, and of course those 4 lugs stepped out dramatically in historical fashion from the case, each one a miniature sculpture. These were created by welding the lugs onto the case and then removing all evidence of the soldered joint. Excruciating but worthwhile, given that everything inside the case is deserving of this level of attention to detail on the exterior. Also note how crisp all the lines are, the bevels, the creases, the junction between the bezel and the midcase and the case back in the midcase, because these are elements that are lost over time as people try to refinish these for sale. This one looks like it's never been touched. The timepiece does have a concave bezel, which is a trick used by Patek over the years on some of its larger watches, and this qualifies in order to visually pair the mass. If we can get a bit closer now, and I'm going to try to bring the dial into focus, you can see that Patek used a few sleight of hand tricks on the dial as well to cloak the size of the underlying CH2770 caliber. You have a railroad style minutes and seconds track, and outboard you have a micrometrically calibrated tachymetric scale, all of which helps to fill out the dial space outboard of the hour track. All of the hour indices are diamond polished and hand applied, made of rose gold, as are the hands of sub-registers, as well as the foy or leaf style hands at center. I believe I've got this one beating away. We may as well start proceedings. Complete perpetual calendar. You have the day, you have the month, you have a radial date, you have a crescent style moon phase with a duration of 122 years between resetting. You have a leap year cycle indicator, and of course the registers on the flanks are double or coaxial registers. Along with the register at 6 o'clock, you have 3 coaxial registers showing you 2 pieces of information to keep the dial layout compact and orderly. Note the attention to detail, a matte or silver opaline lightly frosted finish, not an explosive sunburst, as well as individually hand-polished rose gold applique in hands, and a stepped aperture for the day as well as the month to ease the transition from the plane of the dial, with countersunk sub-registers at 3 and 9. Lozenge style, old school rectangular chronograph pushers. Note, satin finished on their tops, polished on their flanks. They sweated the details with this one, and that continues on the case back. I'm going to do my best to get this one in focus and close, because the CH2770 is worth focusing. Now, mental as well as physical focus, or optical focus I should say, you'll note from the balance down, oversized, big, slow-beating balance. 18,000 vibrations per hour, so 2.5 hertz, free sprung with a Gyromax style architecture to take a precise regulation in a chronometer like 5 positions, and the timepiece with an overcoil hairspring for excellent concentric beating of the hairspring in any orientation with respect to gravity. That helps the watch to keep good time in any position on which you may wear it or leave it atop your dresser at night. You'll note the lateral clutch for the chronograph is entirely jeweled. You can see as it moves away and into contact with the chronograph center wheel, it betrays all secrets. This is why you want a manually wound lateral clutch chronograph. Is it old-fashioned? Yes. It also lets you see everything cool for which you've paid. I'll also mention manual wind, 48-hour power reserve. Moving down, you'll note not just a lateral clutch and fully jeweled, a rare refinement on a lateral clutch chronograph. Usually there's one bushing in there. There's a column wheel, and you can see the interaction of the levers and horns. The reason you can't see the crenellated caps of the column wheel is because this is a Geneva-style capped column wheel with a black polished screw atop. What you can see is the interaction of the chronograph systems with the columns, and when the system is disengaged at center, you can reset it and watch the recentering hammers fall on the heart cam at center. You'll also note, as I turn the watch semi-flush to the camera, the edge of the levers as well as the edges of the bridge start to glow. The jewel countersinks and the screw countersinks start to glow. That's where you can see the mirrored anglage laid down by hand. You'll also note, as I move the watch through the arc of light and flush the camera, the screw heads in particular turn black because each one is black polished with its slot chamfered. Geneva Hallmark. Prior to mid-2009, Patek Philippe watches would have borne the Poinçon de Genève and not the Patek Philippe seal. This is old school, discontinued. Anything discontinued and rare in Patek speak is also collectible in Patek speak. Perfectly aligned Côte de Genève across all of the bridges, and there is an even micro perlage on the base plate, though you can't quite see it due to the density of the mechanism. 24 jewels, entirely hand-finished, hand-adjusted, and exceptionally scarce. Again, 2,800 pieces produced and 4 different variants. This is a timepiece that has already stood the test of time and will no doubt look as handsome in the year 3018 as it does today. Own a timeless timekeeper on the Watchbox.